Very smart.
Oh, with a neurosurgeon, and we've got her as well. That's good. Both girls, none of the boys.
Off to a start in round 2 of the Eliminator. This is a race with 14 competitors. Once again, we lose 6. The board, the swim and the ski is this leg. And Nicole, you spoke to Candice after that last result. Very hot out there, and that's what caused us some dramas.
Yeah, she said she was very flat as well, and quite often when you have a win like she did last week, it's hard to get back into some work or hard to do what you need to do because you're busy celebrating. I don't think that was the case, but she just said flat conditions today, felt very flat within herself, and it was really hard. I mean, she's disappointed with how she's gone. She wanted to continue through in these rounds.
Yeah, and, you know, for her, coming off such a high last week, yeah, like you say, it's a bit of a downer, but she'll be back. She knows she can win now, and that's such a great thing for her. As we see, I think Geordie Mercer is out in front on the yellow there. Liz Plumer sitting in right beside her. Crystal Smith in the black sitting on the inside on the left-hand side, so she's sitting pretty as well. So at the moment we go 14 down to 8 for the final. Very, very important. The pace will pick up this race compared to the last one, but let's see whether Liz Plumers is going to force the pace like she did in race 1.
Great scenes at Noosa. 5, 6 girls there in a row. Crystal Smith, she's in the middle of that shot in black. The question to you two super athletes: 5th time Crystal Smith has finished 2nd in a series. She's won 2 Aussie titles, a world title. 5 times she's come 2nd. Is that on your mind?
I don't think so. I think she's really hungry for a win today. I don't think it's going to be a mental block for her as well at all. I think she's in a really good space.
Well, they're pushing into the can here. There's a real fight to get into this first turn. Trev, it is all happening.
Well, Leachy, we talked about it a little bit before, but it's all about getting on the inside. So right there, Amy Nerthen did a really good job and nearly actually out-paddled Brodie Moyer to get to the front. But because she was on the outside, she's now going to get left behind as they go around that last turn.
Trevor Hendy right there amongst the action. Elizabeth Plumers, 7 times she's competed in the final round of the series. 6 times she's won it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and she's the form person. She's gone out in that first race and said, you know what, I'm going to fight hard here. You're going to have to try to come after me and catch me, Nick. And she's doing that. The girls are pushing onto a wave now. There's building up there. Sort of fills out a little bit. Geordie Mercer up the front too. One of the girls is going to catch this though. We'll see who this is. But certainly there is a gap here for Crystal Smith. So Crystal Smith, Trev, you're talking about her that she hasn't got any blockages. Well, certainly she is in front now. And it's catch me if you can in this race 2.
Yeah, and in this crowd, the second group of girls that are coming out, and there is only a second group, there at the back there, right there, is the girls that we're going to be looking at, and Courtney Hancock is really struggling to keep up with these girls. There are 2 legs to go, but that's okay.
How good is the crowd? The crowd's going out into the water, and they're causing a laneway out along the bank. It is just awesome.
Rebecca Creedy showing some good style with running through there. There's Les Plumers coming through. Let's keep our attention towards the back and look at that. Look where Courtney Hancock is with a swim and a ski to go.
She was leading coming into the weight area. She was up near the front, and they've literally come through her and just pushed her out the back. So that is devastating for Courtney Hancock, who was doing so well.
She doesn't look panicked, though. She looks in control, and she needs to be in control with 2 legs to go.
Got a good swim leg and a good ski leg. So at the moment, you'll see coming in here. So she's sitting there nicely. She lies down on the board. That's her lying down. She is completely being pushed out the back as the other girls take her water. So when they've come in, she's literally taken completely her water that she had to catch that wave.
That was Harriet Brown, the Victorian, just sneaking in and saying, out of the way, Courts, and that's left her back in the field. But as you always say, when she gets onto the ski, she's so good on the ski, but it's such a short course today.
Well, she won the first round of Surfers Paradise with a swim leg. She went from 14th position to 1st, and just showed how fit she was to start the series off. So don't be surprised if she fights back. I don't think she's out of this by any means.
Guy, you've had some great supporters of the series this year, and I have to say that the girls this year are looking fantastic in the engine swimwear. It's been really easy for commentary to distinguish between the different colours, and you and I both know Toby Haynen is the proprietor of that. He went to 2 Olympic Games as a backstroke with me, so well done to Toby for doing such a great job with the engine swimwear.
Well, Hayden, you're down there with Courtney's dad. Is there any room for worry at the minute?
Yeah, Richard, Guy's just asking, is there any room for worry at the moment? Courtney did out of the water, but falling off that wave is probably not her best start into this race.
Yeah, basically from first to last at the end of the board, which is frustrating for me, no doubt for her too, but she looked very composed.
Yep.
I just hope she can make some ground in the swim. I wouldn't give up yet. She's got a very strong ski leg, and I just hope she can make up at least 6 places at this stage.
Well, Trevor, little waves come through on the bank, and Liz Plumers, Crystal Smith, the 2, 1 point the difference, are up and running. And Rebecca Creedy there as well. So Creedy's come through on the swim leg as we see the crowd making their way out along the bank. they're in the best position on the beach, guys. Nice and cool out there.
Look like Rod Stewart in the crowd there, with his speedos on. There is Courtney Hancock just making her way through the crowd. You would imagine she'll manage to qualify through this next race. The only concern is how much energy she expends to make it through.
Well, just quietly on that one, I actually saw John Fleece on Hastings Street yesterday. John Fleece, the funny man, was walking the streets. No joke.
Did he say hello, guy?
He had the funny walk going.
He did not.
No, he didn't.
He did not, Guy.
So, as we see the girls
There's a good story to that point, Leachy.
work their way through, and there's Hayley Bate up towards the back end of this field. So she may, unless she does something spectacular in the ski, end her season at this race.
She's had such a difficult season, Nick. She came back from that shoulder reco. She's been having cortisone to try and fix it up. She had the plantar fasciitis down in the foot. She's just battled on strongly. She's had some good results, but you talk to her and she
needs a rest.
I just can't train. I need a break.
Yeah, she needs a rest to get the injury fixed. So it's an unfortunate situation for her, because I know that she has very high standards for herself. So as we see the leaderboard go through, of course, our attention is on the girls in red. When their names come up, they will be the ones at this stage, should they finish in this order, to be eliminated. But nice and easy out front.
All the suspects at front: Plumer, Smith, Creedy, Moyer doing so well. Mercer, the local here on the beach, with father and granddad all in the crowd doing the job for them. Richards having a great race. Northern having a better day today. And Courtney Hancock, there she is. So she is right on the cusp. She needs to move up one place to make sure she gets into that last race at the minute.
Just imagine the heat when we get to the final race. Smith and Plumas are out in front again in this race. It could be a race to the finish up the beach to decide the title.
I look forward to hearing your call.
I'll just go quiet. I mean, they're the two form ones in this. I mean, it would, no doubt you would think, I mean, Brodie Moyer's in there, Mercer's doing well, and also Creedy, but the two that are really the strong power weights, or the heavyweights in this style of racing, are those two. And hence why there's only 1 point difference in the series with them.
Geordie Mercer, she is fantastic on the craft. There's Brodie Moyer beside her, but Elizabeth Plumas leads Crystal Smith, who she trails by 1 point in the series. Rebecca Creedy in third position. And then Trev, it's a bit of a gap back to the rest of the field in what is just a beautiful day to be out in the jet ski, I would have thought. So beautiful that Trev's gone off around a first point for a wave, I believe. We'll get back to Trevor Hendy shortly.
A whole lot.
There is Courtney making her way up through the field now. She needs to finish in the top 8 to make her way through, and at this stage she's not in that top 8. She's got a couple more positions to pick up.
Well, she's certainly rating hard there, really twisting the ratings up. She has a sense of urgency in her stroke, and she's going as hard as she can, which is going to be using up petrol. So even if she got through, she'll be using up petrol. But at the moment, I think she's sitting in 9th spot, 8 go through. So she needs to catch up, one more coming in. There is a wave going into that bank. It's only breaking at about 1 foot. But we saw what happened to her. She went from equal first to last on the board because of a wave and everyone squeezing her out.
Well, she won the first 2 rounds. She looked so dominant, and it looked to be how far Courtney Hancock. Then she had that terrible stroke of misfortune, which is all part of surf at Newcastle. She was off her ski, eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, and that was the turning point, wasn't it? Newcastle was such a difficult beach. It was really, really tough. I mean, they shut the beach at one stage for the general public. You couldn't go out and swim on the beach because it was so technically difficult and people would get in trouble. But for the 20 best Iron women and Iron men going around, that is not the case. But certainly it was a day to really test yourself and test your skills, and she was just unlucky in that first race.
She's sitting in 9th, equal 9th position at this stage. Courtney Hancock.
Here she comes, Howie. So she's pushing now. So she's worked away on the top of a swell there, and she is giving it everything she can to try to fight through. Tennille Devine in front of her. So it looks like Tennille is in 8th position. So right next to her on the far side is Tennille Devine. She needs to get in front of her on the red ski to get into the last race. It's
such a great format. There is a race within a race every time in this Eliminator format. You can see almost flat at Noosa Heads. Great day to come up for a swim. Tough day to compete in an Ironwoman event. It's 32 degrees. It is hot. It is humid. Courtney Hancock is battling to keep her championship alive.
Oh, here we go. I think there's a swell going to rise on the back of her ski any second. So she's sitting on the top of a swell now. So there's going to be a whole bunch of girls running for between 6th place and about 10th. So Courtney Hancock on the top of a swell now. She'll try to push down this. This will give her a bit of a rest, but it's going to be a run up the beach to see who gets through.
Courtney Hancock battling to defend her title at the front. Position number 1, Elizabeth Plumas. Position number 2, Crystal Smith-Creedy in third, but all the heat will be back in the field. Courtney Hancock, she won the first 2 races of the series. She's trying to defend her crowd. She needs to finish in the top 8. Elizabeth Plumas has done it easily, and now we hit the sand. Look at Courtney go. She's the defending champion. Geordie Mercer is nicely across the line. It is a sprint up the beach. Massive crowd on hand at Noosa. Brodie Moyer is safely through, as are these girls. Courtney Hancock, I haven't counted the numbers, but I've got a nasty feeling she could be in 9th.
No, that's 9th position. So in 8th spot, Neil Devine, who we said before, was sitting there. Courtney Hancock could not get in front of her, so all the girls past Courtney are out.
Nicole Livingston is on the beach with the defending champion, who is just going to have to admit her crown has slipped away, Nicole.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. Court, unfortunately, the race is over for today, which means the crown's gone as well. I hate to ask you the obvious question, but how are you feeling right now?
Right now, I guess, you know, I've achieved 2 goals this year, and that's I won my first series round, and also Bonnie got on the podium, so obviously a little bit disappointed, but also I've got those as well.
We saw what happened. You just got squeezed out.
Yeah.
It's the way surf works. You got squeezed out on that board.
That's exactly right. You know, credit to Crystal and Elizabeth. They're going really well today, and obviously going to fight out in this next one. But yeah, I just got squeezed out, but that's the way it goes, isn't it?
We will see you again at the Australian Championships. Well done on everything that you've done this season.
Thank you very much. I hope everyone's enjoyed it this year. You know, the Ironwoman series is just going to get bigger and better next year. So.
Good girl. Well done.
Yeah.
That is why she's one of the true poster girls of this sport. She said she had 2 aims for the season. 1 was to win a race. The second was to see her sister on the podium. Beautifully spoken. She is a great champion. Elizabeth Plumas hoping to become a champion for the first time. Tennille Devine, Hancock, Harriet Brown trying to make the top 10. She's out. Bonnie Hancock, Hayley Baitup and Tara Coleman. After the break, we will see the decider, the Eliminator 3. Courtney Hancock is out. Crystal Smith leads Liz Plumas by 1 point. After the break, we'll see who is the champion.